Another one bites the dust. Highguard barely survived a month. This one applies to Rest in Hell because it's a game no one wants. But this game's downfall is Geoff Keighley's fault 100%. He went to the devs. He decided to show this game off at the Video Game Awards, the last game on the show. He brought more eyes, more hype to the game, while the devs originally were going to shadow drop the game. Just quietly release it, which would have helped it survive a little bit longer because it wouldn't have been so much hype. And there wouldn't have been the fact that these devs are former Respawn devs. But yeah, the game flopping is mainly Geoff's fault. And the Video Game Awards, they've been shit already for a couple of years, shoving political bullshit and virtue signaling bullshit in our faces. Rigged award wins for some games. Good games don't even get mentioned at all. Hogwarts Legacy had nothing that year. Stellar Blade, that's another one. Barely any mentions for that game because said game is not part of that political western bullshit. The female characters are actually hot, not ugly. Now there's this. Now Geoff can basically curse a game. Anyway, the devs also get the other half of the blame. But first off, there's one thing I gotta give the game credit for. The two characters here, Scarlet and Morrow. Not ugly designs at all. I don't know why marketing didn't have these two characters in the forefront. Well, besides the marketing budget barely being there. But if things were different for this game, Scarlet and Mara would probably be the Tracer and Widowmaker of the game. In more ways than one. Now here's the BS on the dev side. One of them blaming gamers for the game's bad reception. Devs have an attitude towards gamers, the people you're trying to sell your game to. Never works out. So if Geoff Keighley didn't already spell doom for the game, this mess did. This dev is correct here though, saying gamers have a lot of power over which games succeed. And which fail. That is correct. Something, 99.99% of Western devs don't understand anymore. Trying to cater to people that just aren't gamers, okay? Trying to cater to the woke crowd, the political crowd, I can't even say it, not fully. The crowd that represents two certain letters. And back to this part about the team being independent, self-published and such. They had financial backing from Tencent. Tencent were funding this game in secret. But then the game had a bad launch, they just freaking bounced. So they had Tencent support, yet didn't have a big marketing budget. Where in the world did all that money go? Towards the game? Now, why in the world didn't these devs make a Titanfall spiritual successor? Again, these are former Titanfall devs. Respawn ain't gonna give us Titanfall 3 because of Apex and Star Wars. So these devs had the opportunity to make a successor. That's 100% mech combat, no Call of Duty sweat shit on the ground. Just all mechs. Could have swiped the entire Titanfall fan base. And a successor with 100% mech combat would have made the game legally distinct from Titanfall, so EA couldn't throw lawsuits at it. In fact, here's an alternate name they could have used: Operation Theron. That word is another term for hunter, just like Titans and Jaegers for that matter. These devs would have made bank with a Tencent-backed Titanfall successor. But nope, they made something that's run-of-the-mill, not special. It was rushed out. 3v3, that resulted in matches taking forever to queue in for. They later brought in that 5v5 patch, but that should have been there at release. But it wouldn't have saved the game though. I don't know how many more flops need to happen to make the whole freaking gaming industry understand to cater to gamers again. Okay, what I'm going to say here, this will piss a lot of people off. Gaming was for men. Gaming was made by guys for guys. Guys are the core audience. That's just our space, really. Just like how women got romance novels, for example. And I was curious, are there any male authors of those novels? There are very few. But I guarantee you women aren't going to say that should change. Not by a long shot. Yet, some, I guess not all women, some women want the game industry to change. That resulted in a lot of shit in Western media in general for almost a decade now. Like this trash. Political Karens ruined Tomb Raider before, and will screw with Tomb Raider again. Halo took out female Spartan designs in favor of that body type 1, type 2 bullshit. And they had some nerve to pull this virtual signaling bullshit this month, yet that ugly skin can't be put on a female Spartan because they're not in the freaking game. These Karens really are just out to ruin gaming as a whole, ruined our favorite shit. And that man's sneaking into Japanese games now, like with Grace and Resident Evil 9. Capcom, don't y'all dare do this shit again. The exact same Western curse of a female character not being appealing at all. This chick is flat as a freaking board, man. Also, I'm not saying I don't like... I'm not saying I don't like women that are less equipped. I'm saying this is ridiculous, and even Fortnite has to stick with the design. This is not an exaggeration. And Capcom didn't pull this mess in the past. Not even with Remake Ada. The only problem with her is that it's not the same attire from the original game. This is recent. There's a shitty Western dev on the team, and that person needs to be freaking fired. And I almost forgot there's some freaking hypocrisy with that, because on Leon's side, seems all the female employees at Capcom were involved in the design process. They were all on that. Pause. All the women are loving Leon. They got this. We got this shit. So Capcom, next time, let the dudes be involved with female character designs again. Do not repeat the Western curse. And speaking of Western games, our stuff needs to go back to this. Or this in previous eras. Especially this. And Overwatch gotta stop trying to cater to that other crowd. Stick to what's been working for what, a decade? Do not change that design, which China apparently loves. And fire that damn Karen voice actress of that character. How many more flops will it take for Western gaming to go back to what it once was?